Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are just days away from the 30th edition of WrestleMania, coming to you from the Superdome in New Orleans. I'm Hollywood J. Williams.
Thunderous Tom Dacey.
And as usual,
John Zimmerman, back at you.
Back at you. Tom, that was a great show, by the way.
Doing double duty tonight.
Double duty tonight. You didn't even have to move. See, we got you tonight. The Whites don't have you.
Those meddling kids didn't get to me tonight.
No, and we got the Rockstar energy drink because you are the Rockstar. Right. So we're good to go.
We're good to go. We are good to go. This Sunday, WrestleMania 30. I have the full unabridged card for you, but we'll run down the Raw before WrestleMania, the last Raw before WrestleMania.
Well, before you get into your notes and we get involved here, I have a huge announcement. Before, if anyone saw earlier,
it better be huge.
It's ginormous. If anyone saw earlier today, Hulk Hogan and John Cena were in New York at Good Morning America, right there in Times Square. Mm-hmm. In addition, they went over to the Hard Rock Cafe, which used to be the WWE restaurant, if you recall. They were in the Hard Rock Cafe with about 18 of the WWE superstars. And that was aired live on the WWE Network. They had a big press conference, and they were talking about WrestleMania 30. So while they were in town, I was able to secure a satellite feed with Mr. John Cena himself. So later on in the show, you'll be expecting to see John Cena. So call the neighbors, wake the kids, right? Get everybody you know watching this show right now, live on the Squared Circle.
The former WWE champion.
Amazing. How'd you pull that off?
We have our connections, and myself being a part owner of the company.
What do you have to give up, the arm or the leg?
No, I do have a little bit of sway. I just showed them my shareholders card, and I was good to go.
And that was it.
Yeah,
it works every time. It works everywhere, huh?
Yeah, we get the sweets, we get some swag. We got some swag here today, and we're always good to go. But as soon as we can get that clip, that satellite feed, I will let you know.
So you tell the people in back that I said get that going.
And of course, speaking of John Cena, he was like more or less the big star of the Scooby-Doo movie.
Yes, he was, and we'll get to our review, the Scooby-Doo review.
You guys will have to review that. I have sinned.
You did get a copy.
I did get a copy.
You were provided with a copy.
I did get a copy.
But wait, I'm getting. Do we have Mr. Cena?
We have Mr. Cena already.
Let's cut to Mr. Cena.
Let's cut to Mr. Cena right now. Ladies and gentlemen, WWE champion, former WWE champion, John Cena.
John, I can hear him, but John, we can't see you.
We can't see you, John.
You can't see me.
Where are you, John?
Well, we couldn't see Mr. Cena. So,
we can't see him.
I wonder if you look at the date on the screen, it is April 1st. That was our low joke. We could not see Mr. Cena. At any rate, let's roll into the show.
At any rate, let's roll into the show. The original main event for WrestleMania was scheduled to be Randy Orton versus Batista, but that was moved to last night on Raw, and it was interrupted by
the Yes Man himself.
The Yes Man himself.
Yes.
I'm plugged in here, but I am wearing a Daniel Bryan T-shirt.
You can't see the yes there. We gave that.
There we go.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Giving it back to Triple H from the beating he sustained 2 weeks prior, and Triple H and Stephanie positioned at the announce table, and Bryan must have came through the crowd. He must have.
Oh yeah.
And gave it right to Triple H, and Triple H was not in a good mood today at the press conference.
No, he wasn't. The press conference was really, really fun and interesting because it was just that. It was 99.9% press with a handful of fans thrown in for good measure. And Hogan walks out and to no reaction. Hogan walks out and there's fans there. It's like, it's a rousing applause. The press just sat there and waited for him to speak. And he was kind of nonplussed. And then Triple H comes out and he's like, if you're not going to react for Hogan, what are you going to do for me? And he was like, he got no reaction. And the same thing with Mr. Daniel Bryan comes out. he does his little spiel. He says, am I going to kick the teeth in on Triple H? I got one word for you. And he starts doing the yes chant. Nobody joins him. The press, I guess, were not clued in.
The press were not clued in.
No, they weren't smart
might
enough.
not be wrestling fans too much, which maybe they should send people. They should send people like us over there.
Yeah, we are. We're their best press, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
But it was an interesting. And Batista did get heckled, and if you can grab that either on YouTube or on the rerun, hopefully they won't edit that out.
Yeah, because I didn't get to see it myself.
And,
I missed it this morning.
Yeah, Batista almost leapt off the stage after the heckler, and somebody off camera must have held him back and got him back on point. But he wasn't too happy to be
heckled.
It was great. It was a lot of fun. That's the beauty of live TV.
And David Batista revealed the exact reason why he came back.
Yes.
And we'll get to that later in Worst Persons of the Week.
Yeah. So,
the cat's out of the bag.
Again, WWE Network and the original programming and like the press conference today was definitely worth
the price.
The price of admission. And with WrestleMania only 5 days away now, I can't seem to think that I'm getting more than my money's worth.
Absolutely.
I love it.
I mean, just for the pay-per-views alone.
Yeah, it's fun.
The hours upon hours upon hours of footage you can get from that network.
Oh, it's insanity.
You won't be able to sit through the whole thing all week. You'll still have things to watch.
Oh, I've got almost overdose, and it's still a lot of fun. And it's not just I know a lot of us have our video or DVD collections, and some of us still have the video collection going back to the VHS. So it's not just that stuff that we already have or we've already seen. It's old raw footage that we don't have in our collection. It's original programming that we haven't seen yet and hasn't been released, and it's just a lot of just great stuff, and it's good fun.
I don't think the full library has been uploaded yet.
Oh, not yet. Not even a sliver of it. So
all they have right now is the pay-per-views.
Yeah.
And I even think some of those are probably not even up.
No, they only have a sliver of what Vince has in his archives. So we've got a lot more stuff to come. We still haven't seen Legends House and some of the other original programming that they had filmed when they were talking about making a cable station.
Right.
So I'm just waiting more to come, and I believe next month.
Legends House?
Yeah, Legends House will be starting. And there's just an endless supply of entertainment, and a lot of it is fun for guys like us and
exactly.
Obviously our viewers.
I know there was a new episode of Slam City. Did you see the new one yet with Stone Cold?
Oh, yeah. Those are great.
We have an episode starring Stone Cold Steve Austin, Slam City.
Slam City, yeah. So I'm expecting to see that action figure really soon.
Stone Cold. Now, what could Stone Cold possibly do besides wrestle? Operate a beer truck?
No,
or a Zamboni.
He went in and ordered an ice-cold latte.
Yes.
From Del Rio.
Alberto Del Rio.
I see.
Because he's a barista. So.
Del Rio's a barista.
Oh, yeah. That's a lot of fun. They're little shorts, and they're fun.
They are cool. Fun. But speaking of the guy that we couldn't see here, he got the one up on the Wyatts last night too, dressing as a member of the Wyatt family using one of these. Wow.
And he never
masks.
looked so good. Let me just tell you.
Right. He hasn't looked that great in a million years. He won up them for now, but what will happen at WrestleMania is another story. He attacked from behind Eric Rowan and Luke Harper and got the ire of Bray Wyatt, the eater of wolves or whatever.
I am predicting John Cena will be defeated.
I would tend to agree with that. John Cena is going to be defeated in such a fashion that he's going to be off TV for a while.
He would be defeated, and not only that, be defeated real bad.
Yeah.
And you won't be able to see him for a while.
No.
Yeah, it's not going to be the WrestleMania moment of the year prior and the year prior to that when he faced The Rock. This is going to be pretty much a one-sided You figure there's Roland and Harper who are going to be ringside.
Yeah.
And nobody's going to be out there to help Cena. So it's kind of an inevitable thing. And there's also questions as to whether the streak for The Undertaker is in jeopardy,
No.
as he sustained an F5 from Brock Lesnar. I personally don't believe so.
No.
But
No,
Can't
the
see it
streak will
happening.
stay intact.
Can't see it happening.
After everybody saw that last night, I think that's what they hope you believe, that the streak will be ended, but I'm sticking with The Undertaker.
Yeah.
The Undertaker said it best. There's 3 things that are certain in life: death, taxes, and the streak.
Streak.
And we're in the middle of tax season also, so,
Yeah.
here we are. Hey, Tom, you cleared out the room. You opened up your catering truck, and
Right.
we have no audience now. Thank you very much for that, sir.
I know. Now they're all out there in your reception. You can't even attend your own reception.
Right.
No, and after this, when I go home, I go right to bed tonight because tomorrow's my early day.
Yes.
Tomorrow's your early day.
It never ends.
Tomorrow's
This guy-
early. Every day's my early day. Every day except a
Hey,
couple
listen,
days out of the week.
I finish more before 6 in the morning than you guys do all day. So
Yeah.
Well, then you sleep the rest of the day, though.
yeah, that's the nightlife ain't no good life, but it's my life.
It's his life.
Thank you, Willie Nelson.
Right. But also, we saw a Piper's Pit episode last night featuring many people getting into the ring and tearing it up.
Oh yeah,
Let's
did you
say.
see Piper's tribute to the Three Stooges? The little eye poke to the Miz.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, yes, that was great.
Yes.
That was great. Did you catch that?
Yeah.
And
Classic.
this Friday evening on SmackDown, the immortal Hulk Hogan graces us with his wonderful presence
Yes.
yet again.
Yes. Yeah, well, you know what? I mean, as I mentioned, Hulk Hogan was at Good Morning America. He was at the Hard Rock Cafe in Times Square today. He was on Arsenio Hall a few days ago, and I mean, they're utilizing him as an ambassador and, as the public figure that he is. It's inarguable that Hulk Hogan is still and will always remain the largest name and face in the wrestling business.
Okay,
Yeah.
here's my question for you. Okay, he is the host of WrestleMania 30.
Yes.
Will he stick around after WrestleMania?
I haven't seen the details of his contract. I really think that obviously we'll see him the next night on Raw, and I'm not sure. We'll
It's
see.
dicey. It's about a 50-50 chance you'll see him moving forward.
On USA Today covered the return of Hulk Hogan. A lot of the mainstream media covered the return of Hulk Hogan, and it got eyes on the product and a lot of people talking about it. So I think that whatever they compensated Hogan with wasn't nearly enough because people are now talking about it. That media outlets are talking about it that don't normally talk about wrestling. And to me,
Is that the kind of effect that
they're
Hulk
coming in
Hogan
our
has?
territory. Yeah, he does because as I just said, he is still and more than likely will always be the largest name
Yes.
that the wrestling world has ever seen. I mean, he's still that yellow and red is still
He's the first
noticeable
face
around the world, not just in our area.
On a proposed Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling, he would
Yeah.
be the first face on there,
Yeah.
without a doubt.
And we're not talking about wrestling ability. We're not talking about anything. And then we're talking about as a public figure. And,
If he does stick around, I think they should use him like was said many times by Ox Baker. We don't have managers like we
Yeah.
used to.
And
They should use him as a manager, or better yet, put him in as general manager of Raw or SmackDown.
Yeah, but I think that would be a little too close to what the role that he just had on Impact, and I wouldn't really want to see as like a general manager, but just as a manager, and show him down at NXT, coaching the guys in the ring and stuff like that, and do like backstage vignettes. I think that would be a real good work because Hogan's still good on the mic, and he can get out there and have like
It
a
would
protege.
show the world that Hulk Hogan cares about the other people in wrestling because there's a lot said about things if things don't go his way or he has total control.
Yeah.
I'm not coming here unless that guy drops the belt to me, kind of thing. And it would show that maybe he isn't really like that.
Right. Well, I mean, maybe at one point he was, but at this point in his life and his career, he's got to give a little back.
Right.
And we've seen we talked about his financial problems and record right now. So, I think working with the WWE and being humble and giving back a little bit to
the younger
talent, I think it would be a positive thing for him and would keep a paycheck rolling. So it's in his best interest to do whatever.
I know Ric Flair does a lot down with NXT. It was with his daughter being there.
Definitely.
Especially.
And I mean, he's no stranger to that environment either, because he worked really closely with the Knobs, Brian Knobs, the Nasty Boys.
Yeah.
And we always saw him, down there behind the scenes, and he's still got Jimmy Hart around. And Jimmy Hart, arguably one of the greatest managers in the WWF history.
Absolutely.
So he can take a few lessons from him and get out there and do a Jimmy Hart kind of thing. So I welcome him back, and I want to see him do a little bit more.
Absolutely. I don't want to see this as hosting WrestleMania and then he's off camera.
Yeah.
Because, he's got a lot to still offer. Yeah. Obviously, he doesn't. I don't really think he's the, financial issues or not. He just doesn't seem the guy that will just walk away and want to sit home and watch it on Monday nights.
Right.
No. He wants to be part of it.
Yeah.
He's,
and I think
he's got that ambition about him.
Keeping him a part of it, without him being in the ring or without him, having the overinflated ego is a positive thing. So I hope to see him around. I really do hope to see him around.
I know. I hope so too. And I hope we're talking about him into the summer and even into next year at WrestleMania 31.
And there's always a spot here for him.
And there's always a spot here for him.
We'll make a little room.
We'll have a grand entrance,
Oh, yeah.
I've already met Jimmy Hart.
Is there enough room for 2 Hollywoods?
Yeah, I think so. Huh? We'll have to have the Battle of the Hollywoods.
The Battle of the Hollywoods. I don't know.
Ironically enough, you just mentioned
Hogan's still bigger than me.
We've met Jimmy Hart, and I actually met Rick Derringer, who wrote "I'm a Real American," and did a lot of the music before Jim Johnson came on the scene. Derringer did the original Pile Driver album and the very first wrestling album, and he's I'm not sure if he's still in Connecticut, but he's a longtime Connecticut resident, Mr. Derringer. So, it wouldn't be a far stretch. We've come very close, and I've seen Hogan in person quite a few times, but I'm not going to pony up the couple $100 to go shake his hand.
It's a little much. It's a little pricey.
It's a little much.
So
it doesn't fit in our budget.
Right. I have the full rundown for this year's WrestleMania, and then I'd like to tell, if you guys don't mind, take a look back at maybe a couple of the other WrestleManias from previous years.
Yeah, shoot.
So here we go. Sunday night, April 6th, 2014. Starts at 7 p.m. There's a 2-hour pre-show on the network. The pregame show on the network will consist of the WWE Tag Team titles being defended by the Usos versus Los Matadors, the Real Americans, and Ryback in a 4-way match.
I'm going with the Usos.
I'm going with the Usos.
I'm going to go with but I have to take a little exception to the fact that this is on the pre-show and not part of the regular card.
Yeah.
They did this last year with, I believe, the United States Championship, or the Intercontinental, was it?
Yeah, but at least this year we're going to be able to see the pre-show, on air.
That's true.
So I mean, it's not even to me. We all have the network, and seeing it on the network, it's not even. I don't consider it a pre-show anymore. It's now part of the show.
It's part of the show.
And I think that, I don't know, I'm not sure if it was a marketing ploy to get people to sign up for it, but for us, we're going to see that match anyway, whereas people that are still on the cable providers may not, the cable provider may not tune in until the actual, the regular card, comes up. But for us, we're going to be able to see it. Any of you out there if you have the network, you're going to be able to see it. So I'm not as offended as I would be if we weren't going to be able to watch it.
Right. It still should be part of the card, in my opinion. But I mean, yes, you're right.
Yeah, we'll still see it anyway.
Yeah.
Those that have the network, it's not too late to sign up, folks.
No. Midnight tonight is the cutoff.
The midnight. So you can't order the network after midnight tonight at all.
That's the word on the street.
That's
Yeah.
kind of strange.
I don't think they're going to let you to come in on the last. There may be a deal with the cable providers too. Then you're not going to be able to 5 minutes before WrestleMania sign up for the network and get it.
Right.
So
Maybe the price of the network goes up after midnight. Maybe you can still get it.
I'm not sure.
Right.
I'm not sure.
We'll find out a little more.
Yeah.
Get
But you know
back.
what? Just sign up now. Come on.
Just sign up.
You know, if you're watching us, you're that big of a wrestling fan. You should have it already. If you don't, then
I know. But
hey, let us know. And we're all hosting some events for WrestleMania.
right.
We couldn't get together. We had a few.
Yeah.
We got different parties going on. You
Yeah.
got your own pad with your own.
It reminds me of the Seinfeld Millennium Party. It's crazy.
My party will see the return of the legend, the iconic former co-host here on the Squared Circle, Mr. Jordan Izzo, making a guest appearance
Well, you'll have to send some
at Casa
footage.
del Hollywood.
You'll have to send some footage over.
We'll have to. Also, coming up now, that would be the pre-show. The main card will start. I'm not sure we'll start with this match or not, but the Shield will take on Kane and the New Age
I'm
Outlaws.
going with the Shield.
Shield.
It's going to be unanimous. I'm going to say the Shield.
We saw a bit of a preview of that last
Yeah,
night.
yeah. We saw a bit of a preview of all of WrestleMania last night. It was a little crazy.
There was a theory out there that the Shield is still breaking up.
Yeah. Roman Reigns, if it's not going to happen, in this month, in the upcoming weeks, Roman Reigns is going to get a push, and he's going to get a big push as a face, and they're going to take Sheamus out, have him come back as a new character, as a giant heel.
As Sheamus will be a giant heel.
Yeah, and Roman Reigns is going to be a huge face. And I think if they can make his popularity, it'll cover a little bit for Cena, if my prediction is right, Cena being out.
I think Roman Reigns is going to get a push.
I totally
Definitely.
agree.
I think the next two faces of the company are Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan.
I still think
they're going to be
still
The Rock and Cena, The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin are there.
I still think Reigns should have won the Rumble.
I believe so too.
Yeah, I'll give you that. But, Roman Reigns has 2 out of 3 things going for him. According to our good friend, Mr. Mancini, Mario Mancini, if you recall, Mario Mancini says you need 3 things to be successful in the WWE. One is to be a jacked up freak. One is to be related to somebody. And the third one would be to have relations with Mr. McMahon.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns, as far as we can tell, has 2 of those already.
Right.
He's pretty jacked.
He's
a big
jacked.
dude.
And he's Samoan.
And he's related to the Inoue family
Right.
all the way through. So, 2 out of 3. We're not sure about the third one. I'm not going to speculate. But 2 out of 3 ain't bad, Mr. Meatloaf. And I think he'll get the push.
He'll get the push moving forward. Definitely, maybe WrestleMania next year. Bryan versus Reigns.
Oh, that'll be a big one. Is that your prediction? 1 year in
I'm
advance.
saying Bryan versus Punk, but my choice
1 year in
too.
advance.
But Bryan versus Punk if Punk does come back. If not, Bryan versus Reigns.
Yeah.
Let's just say that
I'm
now.
still sticking with my prediction for Sunday for the return of CM Punk.
Yeah. Yeah. There was a lot of rumor that was supposed to happen last night, and it didn't.
Did not happen.
We shall see.
What's your take on the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal? I'm skipping ahead here for the divas,
that's
but
fine. That's fine.
Big Show.
We got a lot of names in there. We got
That's
Alberto
so
Del
obvious.
Rio, we got Big E, Big Show, Brad Maddox, Brodus Clay, Christian, Mark Henry. There's another possibility. The Miz, I kind of doubt it. Rey Mysterio, Totally doubt it.
Hulk Hogan, maybe?
Hulk Hogan's not in this list. Great Khali. Great
He's the
Khali.
host. He can put himself in.
Great Khali is another person that could potentially win it, but
No.
they don't utilize that guy like
No.
they should.
No.
They
He was
re-
in Times Square today, though.
He
at
was.
the Hard Rock Cafe, yeah.
Well, you can't miss him.
Oh, yeah,
What'd
definitely.
you make of Brad Maddox putting himself in? Come on.
They got nothing better to do with that guy. He
Right.
needs a new character. He needs something to do.
He needs something to do because the position of Raw general manager or SmackDown general manager doesn't really mean too much anymore,
Right.
as it did compared to 10 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, he was given a little coaching. He could be a decent manager. Send him out, you know, and have him do some shenanigans
Yeah,
outside
because the
ring.
wrestling didn't really work out.
No.
The refereeing didn't really work out.
No, so I mean, if you have him running outside the ring with a tag team or something, you know, and occasionally getting the bump and getting involved, a la Jim Cornette,
Right.
you know, that would really work. Mm-hmm. You know, so
Another underutilized manager
yeah,
possibility right
Yeah.
there. Zack Ryder's in it though, and he is the internet champion.
You know what? I've been on WWE TV in the last year more than Zack Ryder has. Believe me.
You know it, woo woo.
But you know, you mentioned Big Show, and since the debut of Big Show, I mean, they kind of, when he first came out, they alluded to him as maybe like Andre's son, or
Yeah.
you know, they called him the Giant, and I really think it would be so obvious, and just, you know, like hammer over the head obvious to make him the recipient of the Andre the Giant trophy.
It would be obvious, but I think it would also be, you know, in good tribute to Andre. Just out of respect to, you know, the man and the legacy that he had.
Yeah. I'm not knocking Andre because, you know, I mean, we could stand here all night and have an entire show on Andre the
Oh,
Giant.
of course.
And you know, I don't know, something turns me off about, you know, you wanted to make the Big Show Andre the Giant, and now if you give him the trophy, and it's almost like you're saying, yes, you are as good as Andre. And with no disrespect to Paul White, you're not Andre the Giant. Nobody's going to be Andre the Giant. You can't replace him.
Oh yeah, I think you're right, but I think it would be in good respect.
Yeah, we do have a call if we want to get to it.
Let's go to it. You're live on the Squared Circle.
Hey, Bill from North Haven. I've been watching your program for about 3 weeks, and I kind of enjoy it. So,
Oh, thanks.
no, good show. You know, I always like to watch a little different perspective from the wrestling aspect of. I've been watching wrestling for about 35 years now. So, but I haven't heard you guys talk about because I've been checking the internet, and what your thoughts about maybe Sting appearing at WrestleMania.
It has been said, and there were reports that Sting was in Stamford a few times over the past couple of weeks. You know, Vince has reached out to him on a number of occasions, and Sting's personal beliefs, his religious beliefs, are different than the McMahon mentality, which has really kept them apart. But it's always talked about, it's always rumored, and you know, the offer has been there, and you know, Sting and Mark Calloway, the Undertaker, are friends in reality, and it's always been on the table, and you know, it's just a matter of what is going to take to get Sting to just ink the dotted line.
Right. I think it's a very good possibility. If he were to appear, I don't think it's too far-fetched at WrestleMania 30, and it could set up a match for. This is what I believe. Somehow, some way, they're going to be able to sign Sting in for 31 next year, which will take place in San Francisco.
Yeah, well, we did have last year.
I think you're going to see
yeah,
that.
we did have last year the announcement of the main event for the following Raw. For the following WrestleMania on Raw the next night. So I wouldn't be surprised Sting comes out. Undertaker's streak is still intact, and you know, Undertaker comes out and he's doing a little celebration in the ring. You know, nobody's going to beat me. It's been 30 years. You know, 22-0.
Yeah.
And Sting comes down from the rafters. Man, that would just be a ratings pop and would make my stock go through the roof. So, Mr. Sting, let's do it.
Yeah, it's you know, it would probably be one of the most amazing things something along the lines of when way back when in WCW when Sting was gone for hanging in the rafters for months and months, and that Lex Luger match where he came from the rafters and just started beating the NWO all over the place. I remember it was with about 20 people, and we almost tore the whole place apart, the whole apartment complex.
Yeah.
No, great show, guys. Enjoy talking to you, and maybe I'll give you a call next week after WrestleMania.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
If you don't know where we're located, nhtv.com. You come down to the studio and see us live.
Oh, no, that's good. I didn't even know that. You know what? You never know. Stranger things have happened.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate you watching the show. And tell two friends, and they'll tell two friends. And
definitely.
And,
we have a Squared Circle blog site too on Facebook. If you have internet and a Facebook, and we have a like page
YouTube,
as
we're
well.
on YouTube also. And I believe you said you saw us there as well.
Yep. And one more question. I hate to take up a lot of your time, but how much longer do you think TNA is going to be able to survive?
Well, let me
Not
tell you.
much longer.
If you watched our show and you hear us talking about the local promotion PWA based out of New Haven, more people for real. This is not a shoot. It's not a work for real. More people show up to see PWA and Northeast Wrestling, which just happened this past weekend, than show up to a TNA event. If you see on our page. One of our staff had posted, I believe 99 people showed up for the last live event that TNA put on. So TNA is circling the drain, brother.
Right. We had a picture one time of a high school gym.
Yeah.
And they couldn't even sell that out.
Yeah, go back and look on our page. It's really sad. And you know what? I mean, somebody called in a couple weeks ago and said, we always poo-poo on TNA. Believe me, I want to see competition, because the Monday Night Wars, as we all know, was the hugest and best thing that ever happened in the wrestling business. You had two companies trying to knock each other out and trying to one-up each other. And right now, with McMahon being essentially the only game in town, right? There's no motivation to get better or change.
No, I think you're 100% right.
Absolutely.
Those years of those are the glory years, as I used to call them. I mean, I remember
Nothing
watching,
like
flipping back and forth between the two channels, trying to watch, WCW and Raw, and more 9 times out of 10, you were going back to the WCW side because the product was just so amazing.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we'll ask you. The Andre the Giant tournament. Last thing, Andre the Giant tournament. What's your prediction?
It's always tough to watch those and try to figure it out, because I think they're always looking to see who the crowd is really looking for and who the crowd really likes. You know what? The Big Show is there. They played with his character so much during the years where he flip-flops back and forth, and I think, he's a much better, what he's doing now, he's much better at. I think that someone who you're not even suspecting, I think, is going to win there. I think you're going to, at the end of that, there's going to be someone they're going to say, this is the guy that we want to push, and, it's not going to be, like a Rey Mysterio. It's not going to be a Big Show. It's not going to be, I'll tell you what, if I don't know, is Cesaro in there from the Real Americans?
No, he's got another match.
No,
he's doing the match against the Usos.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, if he was in there, I'd pick him.
But there are, there are 3 slots that they haven't announced yet.
We got Titus O'Neil in there.
Yeah, I don't know about him. Sometimes you just kind of shake your head, and you see some of these guys are such great talent, and they just go the other way. I mean, the guy, Fandango. He was, people were going nuts for him for months and months, and now he's kind of just been tucked away. And I think they do that an awful lot because they just don't know where they're going to go with the character.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think the best thing they've done is, and they've worked it really well, is with Daniel Bryan, because people are just that's the perfect underdog story there. It's like everybody wants to see that guy win the title. And
Absolutely.
Without a doubt. And I agree with you. So I appreciate the call. Give us a call either next week or the week after, and like I said, you're welcome to come down to the studio and see us in person. And we hope to hear your feedback after WrestleMania.
Absolutely.
All right, buddies. Take care, guys.
Thank you
very, very much.
That's great. We love first-time callers, and we really appreciate everyone watching. And feel free to call and join our conversation.
Anytime. We'll go through this. We already said we're all unanimously agree that Bray Wyatt will defeat John Cena.
Yeah.
Hands
Yes,
down.
without a doubt.
Yeah. Yeah.
The streak will remain intact. The Undertaker goes one-on-one with Brock Lesnar, the
Yeah.
Beast Incarnate. Streak, there's no getting rid of that streak.
No.
And Triple H versus Daniel Bryan is going to be a really great match, but Daniel Bryan is going to prevail.
Yes.
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 He will go on to vie for the WWE title and defeat Randy Orton, the incumbent champion, and Batista.
No, that one kind of was. There we go.
And what about the Hall of Fame this year?
Oh.
Hall of Fame is this Saturday evening at, I believe, 9 o'clock
Yes.
Yes.
on the network.
Once again on the WWE
On the WWE
Network.
Network.
See all you're getting.
The 7 inductees this year include the bad guy, Reza Ramon.
Yes.
Scott Hall is original character in the WWF, Razor Ramon. Mr. T, who had a lot to do with the original WrestleManias, he was in the main events, will be in the celebrity ring. A very controversial promoter from Puerto Rico, Carlos Colon.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you know your history and you read up on it, the Puerto Rico territory was huge, and it was a very important part of the business back in the day, back in the territory times. And you know what happened to Bruiser Brody aside, Carlos Colon was one of the biggest promoters out there. And a lot of the guys went there, and it was a different style, much like when the guys go to Japan or the guys go down to South America, Mexico, and learn lucha, and they learn the Japanese style of the high flying. You know, the Puerto Rico territory was a different style of wrestling.
Altogether.
And it was not only you know, a way to make money for some of these guys, it was also a learning experience. And for that, you know, that's the reason you're putting Carlos Colon in. You're not putting him in because he was the greatest technical wrestler, or he had the biggest career, or that everybody knows his name. Because you know, outside of hardcore fanboys like us, I'm not sure, other than like his connection with Carlito, you know, not many people
The
know who he
controversy
is.
comes around something about Bruiser Brody and the murder.
Yeah, and if you read Tony Atlas's book, he really goes into it. And basically, Bruiser died, you know, in his arms, and it was crazy. And but I mean, that happens, you know, down there, and it's still unsolved. you know.
Right.
But unfortunately, you know, that had to happen. But outside of that, you know, all the guys that went down there and were a part of that organization praise it. You know, it was good money.
It was
It was good
WWC,
matches.
I think it was called, right?
Yes. Yeah, and it was good money. It was good matches, and again, it was a great learning experience. And you know, Carlos Colon was a stand-up guy and one of the few promoters that stood behind his word, like Vince Sr. did. You know, and if you talk to Bruno, you know, Bruno never had a contract with San Martino. Never had a contract. It was all done on the handshake. And the Andre the Giant never had a contract with Vince Sr. It was all done on the handshake. And
Nowadays, you got to
Yeah,
have
these
contracts.
days.
yeah, guys, you know, guys like that just don't exist anymore. And it is a different atmosphere in a different world. But, you know, that being said, Carlos Colon belongs in the Hall of Fame.
Definitely. Paul Bearer, without a
Oh,
doubt.
that was a no-brainer. We all knew he'd
The
be on it.
Undertaker's manager, longtime manager, William Moody, Paul Bearer.
Still no announcement who's inducting, correct?
No idea.
Have we heard?
No, I haven't heard.
I'm going to say Kane because I'm not sure that they'll want Undertaker to break character.
My first option would be Kane,
Yeah.
and then the Undertaker. But I think it will be Kane.
Yeah.
Paul Bearer, William Moody, great manager.
Pringle.
Percy Pringle before he was Paul Bearer, and going back into different territories, especially in Texas.
Yes. Yeah. And leading into that, Percy Pringle can be seen with the Ultimate Warrior on the latest DVD that just came out today, The Ultimate Warrior, The Ultimate Collection. New interviews with Jim Hellwig, classic promos, classic
Right.
matches, and Percy Pringle actually came out with the Ultimate Warrior on one of the early matches in the Texas territory. So it's weird how that segued right into it.
Segue right into it. We also have one of the greatest women's wrestlers, I think, Amy Dumas, Lita, high flyer.
Lita.
Yeah.
Beautiful woman. Just amazing, and she will be inducted by, I believe, Trish Stratus.
Yeah. You know what? And I saw her recently at an event, and she still looks great. She's still in great shape. She looks as young as she ever did, and
She could make a comeback whenever she wanted to. Probably.
I'm not sure how her body's feeling,
Right.
But she looks good to go.
Hey, you never know. Anything's possible. Jake the Snake Roberts, a man who was at death's door not too long ago, and rehabbing and getting himself back into shape.
Well, thanks to Diamond Dallas Page,
the DDP
and DDP Yoga.
Right. Diamond Dallas Page has had a positive influence on Jake Roberts' life, and he will be the one to induct him into the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2015. And Linda McMahon, our former Senate candidate here in Connecticut and former CEO of WWE.
And my friend.
And your friend.
Mine too.
Yes.
I respect her, I'll put it to you that way. Will be the one to induct the Ultimate Warrior. Speaking of which, he headlines the class of 2015 for this year.
Yeah.
Something I never thought I would see ever.
Yeah, well, after all of the controversy and all of what had happened at SummerSlam, and his release from the WWE, and my favorite DVD. Now I've got, you've seen my collection. My DVD collection is from here to the ceiling, and my favorite DVD, The Self-Destruction of the Ultimate Warrior. It's great. It's great, and the new one that just came out, Hellwig kind of addresses that a little bit, and I never thought we'd see it.
Yeah, and, you see the basically the opposing viewpoint.
Yesterday we had the snow and the hail. Hell did freeze over.
Right,
we have the Ultimate Warrior. So I think it's great.
You have a DVD produced, and it basically rebuts everything that the previous DVD said.
Yeah.
Right, and basically blames Vince McMahon or whomever else for the problems.
Well, yeah, in a nutshell. But Jim Hellwig did strong arm for extra money, and he kind of made a faux pas. You don't do that in the business. You honor your contract, and when it's time to renegotiate, then it's time, not hours before the event.
Right.
And say I'm not going to go out there unless I get more money.
Right.
I try that every time before we do the show, and I still don't get it.
Hey, dude, you got to come over here. You got to come to work, buddy.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later. But while we still have, how much we got? About 15 now?
Yeah.
We'll run down quickly some of the WrestleManias of previous years, if I can find them in my notes. Here we go. I believe we have WrestleMania 20 from 10 years ago.
Kind of our own version of WrestleMania Rewind.
WrestleMania.
You can also find on the network.
Right, you can also
much.
find that on the network. Let's just do WrestleMania 20 since it happened 10 years ago.
Yep.
The date was March 14th, 2004. Let's see how much the industry has changed in the last 10 years. It would be good perspective here. Many titles were on the line that night at Madison Square Garden. The U.S. title, John Cena defeated The Big Show.
Both of whom are still there 10 years later.
10 years later, here we are, and they're still there. The World Tag titles, which were previously the WCW Tag titles, renamed the World Tag titles. Booker T and Rob Van Dam were the champions, defeating Garrison Cade and Mark Jindrak, the Dudley Boys, and La Resistance. I used to love that tag team, La Resistance.
Yeah. Well, Booker T is still around. Rob Van Dam just finished up a 3-month contract, and he does intend to come back. If you listen to Talking's Jericho, he does intend to come back, and he's having a great time with it.
Right.
So you got 2 out of the 3 tag teams there.
Yeah, and you got Christian defeated Chris Jericho, both of which are still there.
Christian's still there. Jericho comes and goes.
Evolution. Ric Flair, Randy Orton, and Batista. Wow.
Oh, wow.
They're still there.
Deja vu.
Defeated the Rock and Sock Connection.
Well, the Rock
Evolution
isn't there.
passed them by.
Yeah, Mick Foley, who was just in Connecticut doing his stand-up over at Foxwoods.
Yeah, I heard he was here recently.
Yep, yep.
Right. Tori Wilson and Sable defeated Stacy Keibler and Miss Jackie.
Stacey Keibler just got married. If you look at
George Clooney?
No.
Or they broke up a while ago.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't really get into gossip too
I
much.
don't remember the fellow's name. Not somebody in the entertainment industry, but somebody with quite a few nickels.
I see.
So.
Nice to see Tori Wilson and Sable or Stacy Keibler come back.
Yeah.
Definitely. Cruiserweight title, which they no longer have either. Chavo Guerrero defeated Ultimo Dragon. Shannon Moore, Jamie Noble, Funaki, Nunzio, who we met at the RWE.
Nunzio, yeah.
Billy Kidman, Rey Mysterio, Tajiri, and Akio.
Wow, who's left out of that? Just Rey Mysterio?
I believe Mysterio's left out of that. Chavo's in TNA.
No, Chavo's gone from TNA.
Chavo's going from TNA as well.
Yeah, he's gone.
Wow, they're just losing everybody. Rey Mysterio looks like he's the only one left.
Yeah, they're talking about Chavo again. I hate to harp on it, but Talk is Jericho. Jericho did 2 podcasts with Chavo, and Chavo described the last moments of Eddie Guerrero and the last moments of Chris Benoit. And let me tell you, get your handkerchiefs out and listen to those 2 podcasts, and and you can hear the love that Chavo had not only for his uncle Ed Guerrero, but the love that he had for his riding mate and good friend Chris Benoit, and he really lets his emotions out and tells the story.
They were all brothers.
As it was, and he doesn't pull any punches. And let me tell you, it's definitely worth listening to. Go for free. Talk is Jericho, Podcast One Network. Go to iTunes if that's your thing. Listen to Talk is Jericho. It's great stuff. And Jericho is highly entertaining. And even if you're not familiar with who his guest is, you're going to enjoy hearing him talk to him and finding out about who he's talking to. And it's just great entertainment. It's really good stuff. And I can't ever say that I was a huge Jericho fan of his wrestling, and as he's done other things. Fozzy, I think, is one of the greatest bands out there right now, and having seen him live, he is the real deal. He's one of the few guys that has made the transition over into another medium, and he's well respected, and he's got a lot of friends in the metal hard rock community, and he has a lot of those guys, like I mentioned before, Scott Ian from Anthrax, and Vinnie Paul and from Pantera, and Hell Yeah, and some really good stuff. And Talk is Jericho, check it out. But,
Talk is Jericho.
Definitely, if you don't listen to any other of the episodes,
Does anybody
the 2
remember
Chavos.
what happened when Goldberg and Brock Lesnar went at it with the referee Stone Cold Steve Austin?
Oh my! I've been doing all the talking.
I'm trying to remember back then. I remember bits and pieces of that match.
Bits and pieces.
Well, you just had a 20-year retrospective.
Right.
Come on.
I know. Hey, sure, you can't remember 10 years ago.
Right.
Nope.
Wait a minute. The power of television, I guess.
They both left after that, but Goldberg defeated Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
And Austin gave Lesnar a stunner, and then they threw Goldberg a beer, and then gave him a stunner too. There's a match we never saw.
I'll have to go back.
And they always
watch it.
talked about Austin and Goldberg.
And around
I
this.
always said I wanted to see Austin and Goldberg.
Yeah, and around this time also every year they talk about bringing Goldberg back, and at least the fans do anyway, and the dirt sheets and the internet blog sites like us, and I don't know. It's really strange that we haven't heard from Goldberg. Really, haven't seen him.
He had a TV show out there on Spike for a little while.
Yeah.
I thought he went to Japan and became a star for a little while.
But really, I mean, recently nothing. I mean, not a peep, not a tweet, not a Twitter, not a nothing.
Nothing.
Well, we got about 5 minutes left.
We got
wrap
5
it up.
minutes left. Yeah, we could do that. I mean, the card was just. I'll post the rest of the card up on.
Yeah.
All right, because I want to get to my
Worst of the
Worst
week.
of the
worst of the week. Ladies and gentlemen, Here we go. The Bronze is going to have to go to the Beautiful People, reuniting once again in TNA. Now, they're a great tag team, but here's the problem. What are you ladies fighting for?
Who are you fighting?
What is your objectives as a solid, cohesive unit once again in TNA? To fight for the Knockouts tag titles that no longer exist?
Right. And we just had Velvet Sky right here in Connecticut at Crosby High School.
Yeah.
Yes.
Northeast Wrestling.
Definitely.
Check out Northeast Wrestling.
She's a native of Waterbury.
Yeah,
if anybody
exactly.
doesn't
Connecticut's
know.
own.
Runner-up's going to go to I Still Feel As If It Should Be Part of the Card. The Mania pre-show putting on the tag. I mean, if you don't have the network, I mean, maybe more people will have the network next year, so it won't be that big a deal. But the winner, ladies and gentlemen, from the press conference today, Batista telling everybody why he's back. Well, apparently he has time off from Hollywood, and he
Time
wants
off
to.
between making 2 movies, yeah.
Is that what he said?
my
Yeah, that's exactly what he
God.
said.
Time off between making 2 movies, and he wanted to come back and win the title.
For me, he was the highlight of today's press conference. Someone in the back was heckling him, and Batista nearly jumped off the stage. And if that was a work, it got me because he looked really serious. And somebody yelled out about his skinny jeans, and he's like, "I only have 1 pair of skinny jeans, and I'm gonna wear them every week just to piss you off."
Oh, I gotta go back and see this.
It's great. If you didn't see the press conference today,
Right.
the whole thing was gold because, like I said, it didn't go over like they thought it would. And even Triple H kind of addressed that. But the Batista getting heckled was great. It was great. The power of live TV and the beauty of live
I'm
TV.
hoping it's unedited on the replay.
I know.
Yeah, I bet you they edit that out.
They probably will bleep that out. But Dave, thank you for the honesty. I really appreciate it. But it doesn't keep you from being the worst of the week.
So, 5 days.
5 days.
WrestleMania.
WrestleMania.
Again, we appreciate the phone calls. We appreciate you watching. What else? What else you got?
Final thoughts?
Oh, right. Yeah, the Scooby-Doo movie. We didn't get to that. You enjoyed it, right?
I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it, but
I would have rather seen the Big Show in there.
yeah, and we won't reveal who the villain was.
No.
But I really think the villain should have been Ted Turner, or at the very least, my son mentioned Vince Russo. That would have been fantastic. But it was a fun movie.
I have to go back and watch it. You don't tell me.
I watched it twice already.
Yeah.
I'm not too into cartoons.
Did you watch
but
the bonus where they show them doing
Yes,
the
I did.
voiceovers? Yeah, that was great. It was a lot of fun. It did what it should have done for the audience it was aimed at. Cena is the little kid's hero, and they made Cena into a real cartoon superhero. So,
something for kids to relate to.
yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, 90 seconds to go.
90 seconds to go. Well, we're going to wrap things up. I hope everybody enjoyed. Don't forget, this is the big week leading up to WrestleMania. If you have the network, there's a lot of activity going on in the network with the Access weekends coming up. SmackDown, Hulk Hogan with his appearance. And we will see you next week with the results and the fallout from the 30th edition of WrestleMania. I'm Hollywood J. Williams. Good night and good luck.
Night. I'm gonna go home and take a nap.
Go home and take a nap.
All right, thank you.
Take it easy.